opportunity to play around with it and add the band work into it. So for the two of you in particular, when we're talking about reaching high and just having that good fluid arm swing, what will often happen is it's a full body mechanical error that we're dealing with. And I shouldn't put it as error, but that's just like the technical terminology. So we want to make sure that our hip and our arm are totally connected. So we're going to use a band to kind of replicate the arm movement. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to fit 100% in here. Let me move that back. So what I've done here, I don't know what kind of equipment you have at home, but really all you need is a band for this one. And I've tied it to a door handle here behind me. You could literally tie to, like, I've tied it to like the leg of my pool table before. It doesn't really matter how high it is. Ideally, because you can also do, you can do it fairly close and let it have a little bit of slack to it, or you can kind of pull it nice and tight and it'll be a little bit more resistance for you. But you just need to have enough room to replicate that full arm swing, and then with the hip motion. So what I want, and it sounds really like boring and repetitive, which is really boring and repetitive, but you need to be repeating this, every day for the next month for sure, until your muscle memory, kind of like Patrick talked about, will take over for you. It'll become a natural thing. It doesn't need to be too resistant. So what kind of bands do you guys have there with you right now? The band's below me, like it's attached down below me. That's not an issue. I'm just going to be getting more resistance from below. It's not a huge issue for you. Ideally, if you can have it up a little bit higher, then you're not dealing with that extra downward pressure. That'll probably be better. But for now, for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm going to be pulling down from a little bit farther. Okay? So what I want to see is your starting point with like your hip opened up. So I don't know if you can kind of tell. I'm pretty much turned sideways right now. I can't remember. Carter, I know you're middle.
Yeah. Alden's an outside. He won't specialize in either the left or the right his first year.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're still going to talk about having your hip open, and we're going to over-exaggerate it. However, and Patrick will probably clarify with you a little bit, when you're training in the outside, you don't have to worry about it too much. We just want to make sure our hips open for now so we can really replicate the full body motion. We're over-exaggerating the movement. Okay? Yeah. But for a middle, I'm pretty much doing exactly what a middle needs to be doing right now. Okay, so I'm pulling on probably, like I've got, my band's not hanging at all. There's quite a bit of tension here. If that's too hard on the shoulder, or you have a shoulder injury, you can loosen it up a little bit so it's hanging a little bit more and you have a little bit more to work with, okay? But you're starting with your hip open and your elbow drawn back. So I don't know if you can really see my elbow on the video here. And you're going to pull it through, but I want your hip to lead. So hip lead, arm comes second. And the reason I'm focusing on the hip leading right now is that too often we rely on the arm swing to do the motion and to create more of our power. We are going to get power from our arm for sure, but the majority of it needs to be coming from our core and our full body. So I really want you to over-exaggerate the hip coming through first and the arm coming through with it, kind of like the hip is dragging the arm. Does that kind of make sense? You're going to feel that downward pressure of the band, one from the tension of the band and two from it being down below and at the door handle. I want elbow up, but shoulders still in line with hips here for now, and left arm up. You're right-handed? Yeah. Replicate your arm swing, but reaching nice and high. I'm getting cut off here and bringing your left down, your hip through, okay? So it's going to look like this, and I really want you to over-exaggerate. I'm going to put my hand on my hip here. Over-exaggerate the hip pulling through from standing, and it works, but it is just easier to have it like what Carter has where it's on the rack above. So Carter, you'll be standing and doing this, and if you don't have anything to attach it to, it's a little bit higher. So we're pulling the band from up above, down, and across. Now, lots of people mistake and think it's all about like the arm motion, but that's actually totally core. And we have to remember that when we're doing the exercises, we need to be activating that part of our body to do the work. Okay, so right in this situation, in a wood chop, I want you guys to replicate. So you have your hip coming through when you're doing your arm swing one. It's the same thing with the wood chop. Bring your hip through and you're crunching across your